You're watching Fugitive Red-Eye, and welcome to another comic review. So this is the first comic that I've actually fully read, written by a YouTuber that I watch. And that's Chronicles by Undead Chronic. I plan to do a review of Blade Devil in the future too, as well as Ghosts of the Badlands when that comes out. But nevertheless, Chronicles is written by Undead Chronic, as I mentioned. Undead Chronic's pretty great. I quite enjoy his content. And so because of that, I decided to buy his comic. Now, granted, I mainly bought the comic to show support for him. The comic itself was $13. He actually sells it on his Teespring, which is just called Spring now. But anyway, it's a digital copy, so unfortunately there's no way to buy a physical copy. But I bought it and I read it. It's pretty short. There's only one issue out now. So it's going to be a quick and short review. So first off, this comic, I think, is supposed to be kind of channel lore for the characters Undead Chronic and his warband, which are people that he frequently collaborates with. I always do like channel lore with your kind of avatar or character. I've even had my own channel lore a little bit here and there, although it's kind of not as prominent as it could be. And I haven't really done anything with it in a while. But anyway, that's kind of what I get the vibe this is supposed to be, is kind of the channel lore of Chronic and his warband. There's not a lot that happens in it. It's a very introductory issue. It's very short, so it's very hard to gauge how good or bad the story is. I will say that it is definitely, independently made. That's pretty apparent. Looks like it was made in MS Paint. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. It uses the template, speech bubbles that you have, like, in MS Paint, and there's quite a few little typos here and there. The art is not exactly the highest quality, but nevertheless, it's better than what I could turn out, most likely, as a comic. But it's got kind of a medieval setting. It introduces all of the characters, and then it just sort of sets up the plot where they're fighting these pig demons, and then that's kind of it. It's very short. Again, it's very hard to gauge how good or bad this series is going to be. It was interesting, nonetheless. I mainly bought it to support Undead Chronic and his content, so there you go. But anyway, that's all I really have to say. It's a short, sweet, and to-the-point review. Again, I don't really have the biggest opinion on it. The comic was fine. Like I said, it was definitely independent. It feels like the kind of stuff that I would do in, like, Sarge and Friends, with the way it's made in paint and stuff. Just gives me that kind of vibe, that it's the kind of stuff that you just do with your friends for fun. And like I said, it's probably not worth $13 if I'm being perfectly honest, but I knew that going into it. I didn't buy it for that reason. I mean, I did. I was curious to see what it was, but I mainly wanted to support his channel. But I do plan to review some of the other YouTuber comics I've bought later on. But for now, that's the only one I've finished because it's the shortest one. So, anyway, have a good one. Toodles!